Horns podcast. It's your boy Tristan, your main man Mario, and I have waited a year to do it. When is the proper time to stop saying Happy New Year, Mario? Because for us, it is our first show of the new year, but January's already almost over.
Yeah, listen, I think literally David said it the best. I think you have 3 days after the first of the year, maybe a week if you want to stretch it out, but that has long since passed, and I feel like we're on day 76 of January. It's been a long month, but boy, am I glad to be back here with you.
Yeah, anytime you and I are talking on a Tuesday night, that means there is Pueblo Bulls hockey on the horizon, and this weekend, we couldn't just contain ourselves to 2 games. We got 3 straight nights of Pueblo Bulls hockey here at the PIA and Event Center. Feels so good to be back. Gonna talk a little bit about that in a minute, but I don't want to just talk to you about it, Mario. I want to talk to our favorite guest, the man of the hour, our period 1 guest, Bulls coach Austin Hoff.
You use that term favorite guest way too loosely, bro.
Well, I think to come back to the bright, sunshiny, smiley face of Austin Hoff, who cannot wait to see his Seattle Seahawks lose in the Super Bowl again to the New England Patriots. Hoffer, welcome to the pod. How are you, man?
Terrible now. Bringing up bad memories.
Well, I'm so sorry. I truly think the Hawks have a good chance. But what I think is more important than Seahawk football is Pueblo Bulls hockey, because you guys are unfortunately coming off of a tough road stint again. But I choose not to look back. Don't want to look at the negative, and I want to look at the positive. Today started a new day for all of us. We've made it through the 10 longest nights of winter. And now hopefully that's the same for the Pueblo Bulls. Hopefully you've made it through the 10 longest weeks of nights as well, and hopefully only bright days coming up. Do you guys feel like you have turned a page? You had a couple of competitive games on the road this last week. You think it's only up from here?
Yeah, you kind of have to, right? You got to move on from it. Obviously it didn't go our way. But you know, that's hockey. At the same time, you're going to have good weekends, you're going to have bad weekends, but you know, it's how you respond from those weekends and turn a next weekend into a good one for us. So yeah, you just got to find a way to mentally, you know, let it go and move on to the next.
Now, with a big weekend, 3 games at home, I don't want to sound the alarm. I'm not trying to make this sound like a do-or-die situation, but Hoffer, for the first time this season, it feels like these are must-win games. You're at home in front of the best fans in junior hockey and taking on a team that, frankly, has struggled to put anything together on the ice that resembles a hockey team, and unfortunately, Casper finds a way to do that when they come to Pueblo. So without taking them too lightly, knowing this team sits at the bottom of your division, how do you prep the guys and make sure you come away with 6 points this weekend?
Got to work every single day coming into practice. You got to get your work boots on, and you know, you can't take anyone lightly in our division. We've seen that. We've done it to other teams. You know, every single year it's the same thing. If you don't show up, you're going to get beat. So making sure that you're mentally prepared, your body's ready to go, you're taking care of all your physical therapy and everything like that. And then making sure you're on the ice working hard and taking care of the small things that will help you into the weekend.
One correction, they need to put on their skates. They don't wear boots on the ice, but nice try. Good, great effort there on the analogy. Now, with Casper coming in this weekend, back at home, you guys started the season off at home most of the first half. Now you're out on the road a lot more. Does that play into anything and psychologically for you guys when you know, your road warriors on the second half of the season and not the first half?
Yeah, it can. It depends on each year. You know, I think last year we were on the road a lot to start, and previous years we've done that. Just kind of how the schedule worked out, and you know, you can't really change anything mid-season. You just gotta, you know, bunker down and hold on to being able to play on the road or at home, no matter what's in front of you. You know, I do think road trips are long. You know, having so many of them and so many games in a short amount of time is tough on you, but that's part of hockey too. And making sure that, you know, again, you're taking care of the things that'll keep you ready and in the best shape and, you know, mentally prepared for weekends coming. You know, I do think that at the same time, anytime you get to come back home and lay in your own bed and play in front of these fans. It's exciting. So you just kind of got to build off that and, find the energy from the seventh man.
Coach, I'm going to ask you a real coachy / GM-y question here. And unfortunately, you drew the short stick this week and get to answer both. But at this point in the season, obviously, you guys are trying to make it through, push for the playoff spot that you guys think you deserve and are going to fight for every ounce until the season is over. But the players have other things to look forward to as well. And you've got a relatively young team, but you've got guys looking at next season. And you've got guys with college offers sitting out there. And you've got guys with scouts in their ears saying, hey, when this season's over, how about you come out this way? How do you balance that, and how much of that kind of seeps into conversations you're having with players or locker room chatter you hear?
Yeah, I feel like it's not as big of a thing during season. Obviously, that's, once you get into the summer after the season, that's always a conversation. A lot of people talk to our guys. We know that, whether it's college, whether it's other junior leagues, but we know what we have here and we believe in that. So I think at the end of the day, we trust the process that we've built over these past 7 years and being able to show guys what we can offer them, whether it's alumni, whether it's, the workouts, the ice time that we get, being able to take all those things into consideration and making sure that they're making the right choice for themselves and not for anyone else. So I think at the end of the day, we do believe in what we have, and we think it's very strong and it's hard to beat.
And the league, the NCDC, and the USPHL, I should say, actually announced that because of inclement weather, no All-Star game. How disappointed are the players not being able to show out like that? And what do you tell these guys to make sure they're still focused?
We could bring Tails up here if he wants to give a little insight. It's obviously a bummer. Those guys, they earned it. I think we had a few more guys that probably earned the opportunity. Unfortunately, you just can't control Mother Nature. That's part of being able to adapt. And I do think it's something that you're probably a little bummed out about. But, you just got to move on and focus on the season that we have at hand. We're pushing for a playoff spot. So, making sure that we, focus on making playoffs and, moving on.
Coach, I'll hit you with the final question here. Looks like you got a 6-pack of bullpen lager to go crush now that you've done your due diligence for the night. But big weekend of hockey. Pueblo Bulls taking on the Warbirds, a rivalry you've seen now go back and forth for seasons on end. What do you expect out of the boys this weekend, and what should the fans who have waited a couple of weeks to see you back at home expect?
I think we're going 110% all weekend, and if anyone's given less than that, I know our leaders and guys in our locker room will make sure they come out ready to go the next period or next shift. I think everybody's ready to go and ready to turn the page and start pushing again to the playoffs.
Bonus bet here on the Around the Horns Network sports betting. First goal scorer Thursday night.
I don't know if we can say that because he's always doing the Coors Light goal scorer of the game graphic.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
I made Pricer start doing that, so I stay out of it. I just make the graphic and let him choose. But I'm gonna put my money on Woody this weekend. Derek Wood.
Yeah, our first goalie goal of the year would be
sick, dude. If
We're
we did
buying
that,
beers for everybody in the PIA Thursday night.
Free beer if we get a goalie goal, first goal of the game.
Straight up. Mark his words. He said it here Tuesday night. Bulls fans, give it up for our Period 1 guest, Coach Austin Hoff. Well, Hoffer mentioned one of the guests we're talking to, teased it out there a little bit. Half of do we have our own lumberyard here? We'll find out on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, period 2-time, and I am pumped because I feel it in my bones that we are going to get the greatest interview we've ever gotten on the Around the Horns network.
We better, because he's been bodied all season long.
We have never talked more about a player before they made their grand debut. So Bulls fans, he has earned it from you. He has been mentioned on the show every week, and now he's finally here. Our Period 2 guest, give it up for Evan Long. Long.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Longer.
It's finally good to be on.
Pumped to be talking with you instead of about you for once on the podcast. And this is obviously a running joke. Mario and I will get there, but we're just really glad to have you on tonight. So for the Bulls fans that have only heard of you all season and not heard from you, let them know how you got to P-Town. What did your hockey journey like that took you here?
So, yeah, I played youth in Champlin, Minnesota. Played 3 years varsity there, and then kind of after varsity season, Marty reached out to me and, offered me a spot at their pre-draft camp. And then from there, I, played good enough, obviously, for the Bulls to draft me. And then from there, went to main camp, had a really good main camp. Got the call from Chris, you made training camp. And then, had a really good training camp, and obviously now I'm here. So.
And making an impact as a rookie, as a first-time junior hockey player, how much of that is nerves that get knocked off right away, or do you feel like with such a long kind of scouting process throughout the summer that you knew you belonged and that you were where you needed to be?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I knew I belonged here, and, I think that started in training camp, obviously, and, I thought I had a really good training camp, and, that really helped me, get my stride here. And
well, now that you're here and you were meant to be here, tell us a little bit about your experience in Pueblo, what your favorite things are and what you've really fallen in love with the community.
No, yeah, I think, I've had a great time here already, but, it's easy when you have really good billets and obviously a really good roommate. But, our billets always take us really good food, really good spot on right by our house, Mi Ranchito, shout out Mi Ranchito, but... really good.
Get this
spot.
guy some NIL money, dude.
Yeah. And there's Whataburger. We don't have that in Minnesota, but a lot of good food here, and the community's great, and it's just awesome. So.
And then I got to point this out. So one day I'm driving out to the county, and I see this what looks like a terrible car accident. And there's you standing just out there, and I'm like literally calling all the coaches. I'm like, you got a player that has caused a traffic accident. Was that the low point of your time here in Pueblo?
It was pretty sad, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my fault, and
that's what they all say.
Well, I was able to, we got money from their insurance company, so it all worked out. But
so what are you riding in now? What'd you take?
Well,
what'd
so
you use that money?
I actually have my dad's Buick here, but we got a Chevy Equinox.
Okay, all
solid
right.
car. So.
Congrats.
Yeah.
You were standing there. You were crying, so I didn't want to stop and put you on the spot or anything like that, but I just wanted everyone to know you were safe.
I didn't want to put you on the spot in the moment that only you and I would have experienced. Let's put it on the internet forever so everybody knows it, Mario.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're always looking out for players. That's what I admire about you. Longer, I got to dive into the other experience you have with P-Town, which is one of the coolest, most fun, most energetic group of defensemen I've ever seen. And I think even when the season started, there was a really good vibe, but now you've really turned that up a little bit of a notch there. The guys that you get to go to war with all the time, and you've lined up with a number of them. How cool is that to learn from some vets? How much energy do you feel like you and some of the other young guys bring in? And what's that D group been like this year?
No, it's been awesome. I think we're all really close, but I think it really helps when you got two really good leaders back there, and MJ and Brown, showing you the ropes. And, obviously adding Kerr, he's, there's a lot going on there, but not in a bad way or anything like that. But
no, we
it
get
brings
it.
a lot of energy, and it really, fires you up, But I think, it's been an awesome year, and I think, we gotta, start winning some games here, but I think we will. So
getting a guy like Parker back this last weekend and knowing he may be solid for the playoff push here as well, how much does that help morale?
No, it's awesome. Great guy and great hockey player, and it's really good to have him back.
So now we've talked at the beginning of the segment about what your teammates have been putting you on blast for. If you don't know, they said he's the softest player on the team over and over and over. Why are they saying that, and what makes you not the softest? And then we're going to ask who you think is the softest.
Yeah, I think, they just want to pick on me. I don't think they...
Why?
I think...
Is it the Screech look-alike thing going on?
I've heard about that.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I don't know what the show is, but I have...
Well, I guess we weren't saved by the bell.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just think they can pick on me, but it's not like that. But it's kind of BS, but
So then, if you're like, so, and here's the thing: when we talked about players that come on this week, there were 2 players on there, and I said, no, scratch that. Mm-hmm. Longer has been bodied all season long, and that last home stand here, you went toe to toe, you duked it out. I don't know if I'd say you won, but I would say you're not soft because you went toe to toe. So you earned your spot here.
Yeah.
Regardless of what your teammates, coaches, mom, and everyone else says about you being soft. So who is the softest person on the team then? If it's not you.
No, it's definitely not me. I got a couple guys, names in mind. I don't think I'm going to call them all out. But, if I had to lean one way, it would be Landon Sherbert.
Sherbert.
It'd be Sherbs.
Wow. I mean, if you leave him out too long, you will melt.
You will melt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and everybody says your name wrong all the time because it's actually Sherbet, not Sherbert. But Longer, I think you've gotten a bad rep. And Mario and I pride ourselves on only elevating players. And I think by letting you be belittled to this point in the season, we owe you an apology. After seeing what you did going toe-to-toe on home ice and defending the P, we owe you an apology. And I think the Pueblo Bulls fans here that partook in your misery over the last 15 weeks owe you an apology. So this weekend you can expect the loudest cheers from every single one of us, 1,100 strong, ready to show you that P-Town is behind you and loves you. So this weekend, if you can expect that from us, what can we expect from you?
You're going to expect a sweep for sure. We really need to sweep this weekend. In these next 20 games, at least 16 got to be ours just to get back in playoffs. And then obviously we go to Utah and we got to sweep there. But you can expect us, we got to stay out of the penalty box for sure. But you can expect a sweep from us this weekend.
One thing, we love hearing that. Tristan and I have no problem, but I think we probably have to do some media training because we have been told time and time again that the S word that you just used multiple times is a no-fly zone. Mm-hmm. It is a bad juju. So we got to come up with a new word for your vernacular to use in place of the...
Okay. Dominate.
Let's just dominate this weekend.
Let's dominate it. Bulls fans, let's give it up for our Period 2 guest, Evan Long. Man, that feels good. Let's see if we can clean it up. Clean instead of sweep it up here in Period 3 on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, Period 3 time. And it is a weekend of firsts. And I can't wait to have our first 3-game homestand. But even more so, I can't wait to have our third period guest. For the first time this season, Bulls fans, give it up for number 18, Jaeger Wood.
Welcome in. Before we get started, Tristan said he's ready for the first 3-game homestand. We had one of those, but he was in Walt Disney World running. So you're a little late to the game, buddy. It might be your first 3-game weekend, but...
Yeah, this is all about me. It is a weekend of firsts for me, Mario. New year, new me, and I can't wait. But I'm even more excited to talk to our Period 3 guests because, Woody, we had a chance to talk with your family, really, before we even had a chance to talk with you on the show this year, and they said, oh, we love you. We watch you every week. I said, why? We didn't even have your kid on the show yet. And finally, we found the time to bring you on, Jake. So it's good to have you on, man.
Thank you.
How has the season been for you? It's been up and down, fast and furious. What are you feeling like at this point in the season?
No, it's been a blast. I just think we're coming down to kind of crunch time. We got to turn it on here to get into playoffs. But, I can't complain. It's been a blast, and the team's been great so far.
Yeah, and the team is obviously looking to get hot, but obviously the fans trying to get to know you before they watch you get hot. And so we just had Longer give us the journey. You got to sit there and think about all the things you could have said if you were him. So now say it. What brought you to Pueblo? How did your hockey journey lead you here?
Growing up in Princeton, played all my youth hockey there, went to the cities, played youth hockey there. Then played varsity at Princeton 9th grade year, transferred to Cathedral. And then after the state tournament, Chris gave me a call, said he liked what he saw, and offered me a tender spot, and I signed right away.
It's a pretty sweet way to get the call from the head coach and just show right up, skate with the team, play in every game since. In that time, obviously a lot has changed. You've skated with a ton of different guys. You've seen guys come and go. Do you have some memories that have kind of stuck out, or maybe players that you found yourself in a groove with the most throughout the season?
Yeah, I love playing with Schultz and love playing with Sherbs. Both of them are great guys, and kind of grew up in the same area, so it's perfect.
Well, the earlier guest, Longer, totally took shots at, and I think he was going to take shots at both of those players that you love.
Yeah.
So that's got to kind of irk you a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little story behind that because every scrum I've been in, Schultz has just been standing on the outside, just doing nothing. So.
He's just a nice observer.
I will say, when he came on the pod, he had his shirt tucked into his khaki shorts, and I was like, that guy is never going to fight anybody in his whole life unless it's for a parking spot.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to have that quarrel here.
And then he'll just yell at him really loud.
Yeah. Wow, why I yell?
That's my spot.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to make you throw anyone under the bus yet, but we will talk a little bit later about who maybe the best of something is on the team and the worst, so just be thinking about it.
Got it.
But for your time here in P-Town, we also asked Longer in the last one, what have you loved about being here in Pueblo? Obviously, the best fans in junior hockey. Look at the room on a Tuesday night. But there's much more to love than just hockey and the fans themselves. What have you enjoyed about Pueblo?
I've loved it all. I mean, the food's great here. The community's great. A1 Tee-Off, best spot in town. No, but it's been a blast. The community's great, and it feels like home right away.
And then let me talk about, Tristan touched on this earlier. So you got here, you've been here for a while. I mean, I really got to know your mom. We got to highlight her at the game.
Yep.
I got to know your grandparents. I'm thinking aunt was there. You had the whole family, which I was trying to get adopted, but they kicked the tires a little bit. But you have such a fervent fan base.
Yeah,
You've got your family loves. Even when you're terrible on the ice, they think you're fantastic.
Every time. Never fails.
How important is that for you to have that kind of support and know that you have these fans right here in Pueblo, but you know that you've got so many people that just believe in you? It's got to feel pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Calls after every game, doesn't matter. Good, bad, win, loss, it doesn't matter. They're always there for me, so it's perfect.
And they're coming from Arizona, right? The grandparents?
Yep. Grandparents are coming from Arizona, and then parents are obviously in Minnesota.
Right. So are you going to see some more of them this season? Am I going to see my potential adopted family?
Yeah, grandparents are driving in Thursday, so
yes,
they'll be back here.
I'm going to get a family.
Mario Wood does sound pretty good.
I think it's got a ring to it.
He tries to give me Mario Wood every time I see him, and I say, whoa, I don't want any. Just kidding. Jaeger, back to a PG segment here on the show. We like to call best and worst of your teammates. So let's talk about the group of forwards this year. There have been some sick shooters, some fast skaters, some saucy hands. We're going to dive into all of them. So you got a pretty sick shot, and your name has come up a number of times when we talk about the most pure shooter on the team this year. If not you, who is it?
Ooh, gonna have to go Jay-Z. Gotta go Jimmy.
It's a solid choice.
I think so.
With Benny sitting right over there.
That's
well. I'm not gonna pump his tires while he's here.
All right, fair.
Let's chill out on that now. Now Jay-Z's name has also come up in this next category for fastest skater. Who is it on this year's squad?
All right, take it back. I'll probably pump his tires a little bit. I'll go Tails.
There we go. We'll take Tails on that one. Now, the most surefire passer, tape to tape, best look on the team. Who's got it?
Can't be Schulte. He's got no assists. Doesn't show, but Longer's got some passes, man. It's never not on your tape.
Oh, that's the nicest thing anyone said yet.
That's
awesome.
I think he's a nice guy. Yeah. Tape's always on your pass, every time.
We'll take that all day. And now I'm really glad you used him for the last answer, because the next answer is the forwards get to go up against the D-men every week in practice, every day in practice, and you got to take some hits down in the corner, and I'm sure some of those hits are really tough. I'm sure some of them are not. And who is the softest hitter on this year's squad?
I'm going to go Clay. Clay's got to be the softest back there. You know?
I guess to be the softest, you would have to actually lay a hit, and I don't think I've ever seen number 91 with a scuff on the jersey.
Not a single one.
But he covers the ice. He's lightning fast back and forth. You just don't know where he is. That's what's going on.
That's true. We'll
My
give him
boy
the
Clay knows what's going on.
Yeah,
Come on.
He's quick.
Woody, obviously a tumultuous season, up and down. You guys have mentioned it, you, Coach, and Longer all, about having to right the ship and really lock in over the next few weeks. What are you expecting and what are you hoping to accomplish personally and then as a team with loftier goals than just squeaking into the playoffs? What do you guys want to get done this year?
I mean, I think it's bigger than just personal goals at this point. Like, the whole team's got to be going, and we got to get to playoffs, and we know what we got to do to get there. So it's just, making sure we're on to the little things and doing everything right.
And as we wrap up, what can these fans that are here and they're going to watch you on the pod when it gets posted, what can they expect from Jaeger Wood this weekend?
We'll see. Hopefully got a couple goals, but, just a lot of energy, maybe some big hits, and we'll see. Give it our all.
Let's do something else, too, real quick, because we know for a fact that the Casper Warbirds, they're watching. They watch every. Oh yeah, no, they message us because we've called them some other things that rhymes with bird, that starts with a T. So what do you want to say to them? Why don't you give them a little, get the Warbirds a little love?
I got no love for the Warbirds. We're just ready to go.
Bring it, boys. Come on.
Show up. All right, Bulls fans. We got 3 games. We've got 3 great periods of Around the Horns podcast. Can you give some love to our third period guest? Number 18, Jaeger Wood. It feels like it's been a while because the atmosphere is electric. I cannot wait to be at the PIA and Event Center. Specials all weekend long. Thursday night, you can get your whole family in the door. You can get some really cheap beers and hang out with me and Mario. You can pregame for Friday, where you got the best doggone place to be all weekend long. Cozy up while your Pueblo Bulls take on the Casper Warbirds, fight for that playoff spot, and get to see the guys you saw on the podcast do exactly what they're supposed to do this weekend when they get that podcast bump. From the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns Network.